Hello everyone, I'm Brian Croy Dragon, and welcome back to Vox Adventures. After a short hiatus, due to server stuff, we're back. Now let us continue eastward. Yesterday I went for my walk, stopped in at EB Games just to look around, and to my surprise I saw, well, how do I put this? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles characters as Power Rangers. Two specifically, April O'Neil as the Pink Ranger and Michelangelo as the Yellow Ranger. Crossover with the Power Rangers wasn't enough. Now the Turtles and their red-headed human ally are now out to usurp the Power Rangers. On the archive.org front, I've been favoriting more books that I borrow from the library, be it the school library or the regular library. I'm just favoriting more stuff in general. For instance, I found a children's book version of the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur, with perhaps the most literal portrayal of the Minotaur being half man, half bull. What do I mean by that? Well, everything from the waist up is a bull. Everything from the waist down is a man. That's exactly what I meant by being the most literal interpretation, the most literal portrayal of the Minotaur being half man, half bull. And yes, instead of arms it has the four legs of a bull. Instead of the arms of a man it has the four legs of a bull. I shared a picture in a few Discord servers I'm in. I even got the comment, the longer you look at it, the worse it gets. On the search for the remaining books in the Great Mystery series, I found something that complicated things immensely. But on the other hand, I did find a book series that I did find in my own school library, elementary school and high school. And this title is just doesn't help things. Great mysteries, opposing views. So you have great mysteries, and then you have great mysteries, opposing views. Oh, good lord, that does not make things any easier. Oh, and you know what makes things even harder, more difficult. Both Great Mysteries and Great Mysteries Opposing Views have a book titled UFOs. I was able to find the one for Opposing Views, and I favorited it, but not the one for just Great Mysteries. I was able to find a great number of the Opposing Views series on archive.org, and of course I favorited one. But here's where things get even more complicated. The series has subjects covered twice by two different authors. Yeah, and it just makes no sense. If you don't know the author's name, you're going to be looking for dinosaurs or pyramids or whatever, and not end up with the one you were reading in your elementary school or high school days. I was able to find one of them from my elementary and high school days, the Bigfoot one. Wasn't able to find the Water Monsters one though. And good lord, there's a lot of them. Yeah, I've read a bit. There's one on alternative healing, and yeah, it covers quite a bit of alternative healing, faith healing included. Faith healers are dangerous people just looking to make a quick buck. They are not honest people like Jesus or I don't know, other people from older times. Let's face it, faith healing could be as old as religion itself. It just so happens that the most famous faith healer was Jesus. Yeah, there's one on Anastasia, and if she could have survived or not, it's dated, of course, now, but still, guess I added it for completionist's sake. I've read one for alien abductions, read one for on angels. Yeah, I'm working my way alphabetically. And on a case of angels, it's not just the religious view and the atheistic view, it's the Christian view and the Jewish view as well. Which actually makes me happy that it's not just religious and non-religious. Hey, you. Oh, jeez. And there's of course a book on the subject of Atlantis, there's a book on voodoo, the devil, the Trojan War, dinosaurs, pyramids, vampires, Jack the Ripper, the Kennedy assassination. There's a wide range of subjects. There's a subject on animal communication, there's a book on the subject of the origin of language. So yeah, if cryptozoology, UFOlogy, the supernatural or stuff like that isn't your thing, there's a number of other things to look at. There's a number of other things that might catch your fancy. There's one on Noah's Ark, there's one on the moon, mysteries of the moon. Hey. Might be a different series than the, Great Mysteries, but Great Mysteries Opposing Views did capture my imagination as a kid. Yeah, it's a very informative series, and the cover are beautiful, watercolor and whatnot. At least I think they're watercolor. And sure, the pictures in the book itself are black and white. But even then, there's a lot of nostalgia for me. There's a lot of information to be had. honestly, going through archives.org when it's such a generic title is not a lot of help. UFO, so you can guess how many books that will cover. Likewise, you can guess how many books ghosts will cover. And at the end of it all, you might not even find what you're looking for. These are not the books you are looking for. Okay. What makes a good book for a subject such as, great mysteries and all that? It all comes down to is if it can capture your imagination, make you wonder, take you to that distant place or distant time. And it really does both Great Mysteries and Great Mysteries Opposing Views to do a very, very good job of that. I talk about wanting to expand into VTubing, and I want to continue doing readings, even as a VTuber. I'm not going to give up this setup, but I'm going to be alternating. So, live action one day, virtual the next, that sort of thing. And I really think that I'd like to do readings of the Great Mysteries story books. With my VTuber persona. Did a little test run recording where I played a certain Minecraft Bedrock map, what's it called, French 101 TNT Squad. There's also a Spanish and a German one, and if you ask me, that's literally the worst Those are literally the worst ways to learn a language. And you have to remember, while other people have done some pretty fantastic things for their personas, the most I have is ambiguously human. He's just ambiguously human and, well, unaging, he's immortal. But at the same time, his memory can only go so far back. Taken from the fact that I've been mistaken for 19 when I'm 29 at the moment. I have it so he's eternally looks 19, and to play into that, a lot of this I'm deriving from John Carter, as he introduces himself in A Princess of Mars. It's possible my character is 100 years old. The earliest memories he have comes from 1941. He has no memories of any childhood, and it's entirely possible that he's older. And the idea about for the character, for virtual Brian Croydragon, is that it's a mystery. His past is a mystery, and over the case of the VTubing, we'll learn a bit more about him. One thing I ad-libbed is that he was press-ganged into serving in the Korean War. Won the Korean War? Well, you have to remember I'm writing from I'm Canadian. After World War II, the war we were next involved in was the Korean War. Yeah, what was he doing during World War II? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Because you have to remember, his earliest memories go back to 1941. So we don't have any. I don't have any plans for. I don't have any ideas for what could have happened during the early days of the war. 1939. 1940. Yes, Alex, hello. Um, for a long time I've been wanting to do a werewolf story, but with my finding of a PDF of Osborne's Guide to the Supernatural, which includes an explanation of other rares, I'm feeling not doing a werewolf story and wanting to do something like rare lions, rare tigers, rare snakes, rare crocodiles, rare hyenas, rare monkeys. But at the same time, I still want to do something werewolf related. I want to go back to the original folklore. No, being bitten by a werewolf. No, and transforming. No tragic victim story. Just have it be a malevolent individual who became a werewolf of his own free will through witchcraft and mock the idea of a werewolf living among a pack of wolves. You know what would actually happen? Well, wolf packs are family units, so and they're rather hostile towards non-family members. So the idea would be that, yeah, that would be how the werewolf would actually die. And it would actually take something from the Tarzan comic, actually a two-parter titled Tooth and Nail. In which Tarzan goes up against Mr. Hyde, and Chico comments that the ape that ultimately kills Hyde is God's agent, and knows that there's no place for something like Hyde on Earth. So that would kind of be the idea of the wolf pack, viewing them as God's agents. They know there's nothing natural about a werewolf, and that there's no place for a werewolf on the earth. Realistically speak, but I do it in a more ambiguous way. You have the mundane, it's just a family unit and them being hostile towards towards a stranger who's just too stupid and ends up getting himself killed. Or you can go the other way, the more spiritual route. And here's another thing. Werewolves may have been inspired by serial killers, and that's definitely the case of what the werewolf will actually be. With stories like Werewolf of London and The Wolfman and whatnot, we've forgotten what werewolves are actually. in the folklore they are not tragic individuals. Inspiration-wise, they might just be people with with psychological lycanthropy. But on the other hand, they might have just been serial killers. And going back to this malevolent version is what I actually want to do. People might not like it, and I've read of someone who mistakenly thinks that Stephanie Meyer invented werewolves. As detailed in an email on the subject of the Wolfman remake from 2010. But the fact is, I want the werewolf to be malevolent. I want him to be kind of like what we got with Forster John in the remake of the Wolfman. He's this malevolent figure, but not exactly like Sir John. I'm going back to the original idea that they are fully in control. And the folklore werewolves could even actually speak in wolf form. It might be different from what's more common nowadays, but still. Who's my Alex? Here's my fur ball. Jungle Adventures, I realized the complete redundancy of the prehistoric, of making it a prehistoric setting. So I went back to my original idea of modern with a 1950s, 1960s aesthetic primarily. The Pellucidar-esque world will still be prehistoric, so there you go. SF666. Good lord. Well, we've made it east. We're now southward. No, no, no. Oh God. And was I first introduced to werewolves? Scooby-Doo, most probably. But the moment when it was an actual werewolf and not some guy in a costume it was probably Archie's Weird Mysteries. Ouch. And as for the documentary side of things, they're probably mystery hunters with the Beast of Prey Road. Oh, rare leopards. Yeah, that's another one covered in Osborne's Supernatural Guide. Guide in the Supernatural. Can't forget about that. And I think my introduction to them was in Gargoyles, where they were more specifically rare panthers. But you know, a panther in Africa and Asia is a leopard. A panther in a black panther in the Americas is a jaguar. I mean, anyone knows that. Obviously, there's people who are criticizing that Mel Gibson movie Apocalypto. Didn't know that both jaguars and leopards have hey, melanistic individuals. Yes, kitten. You getting up? Honestly, I'm thinking of maybe for the rare line thing, taking the story of the Savo man-eaters and combining it. Well, who knows? Oh god, that's a mask? I thought I was actually looking at a mummy's face. So, yeah. Got the GoFundMe made because, let's face it, I need help. Victim of a credit card scam a few years back, and I've, for all intents and purposes, been abandoned by the fraud center. Let's face it, I had it made for a while, and I don't know why I didn't share it. Might have been scared that I'd not get any donations, and God, I should be getting a check to... I've been waiting on a check so I can buy my equipment for my job for a while. And let's face it, by the time I get that check, it's probably going to be February or March or, I don't know, September. So I'm gonna share a link both on YouTube and on Reddit. Look, if you donate, thank you. Just remember to take care of yourselves. Don't go trying to give me enough to pay the whole thing off. And of course, I'm talking to you as individuals. Eventually, there may be enough donations to just pay it all off. And hey, if I do ever get that check, I'll be using whatever I have left over to also be paying off that credit card bill. And if there's any, like, if there's still stuff left over from the GoFundMe, I'll probably use that to paying off my student debt. It might not be enough, but on the other hand, it could get it, it could get a chunk out, so... But the credit card scam that I'm still paying off, that's something that takes precedence over my student debt. Yeah, not as happy in this last bit, but there you go. That's it for today, everyone. I'm Brian Croydragon signing out. Stay straight.